All right, let's talk about Amen Thompson's breakout. Obviously, the Rockets are the 2 seed right now in the West. They're playing amazing basketball. And at the center of that really is Amen Thompson. Since Jabari Smith went down with his injury, he's been a starter and he's been playing amazing. So this topic really got prompted by his play, but also Wilder. I don't know if y'all remember him, but he's been on the podcast a few times. He made a tweet that got like 100K views on Twitter. So he basically said the only players that he would take over Amen Thompson clearly for the next, like obviously like going forward, was Victor and Paolo. And that sparked up a debate on where he ranks amongst young players. So my question to you guys is how many players under the age of 25 are you taking over Amen Thompson going forward?
I'm taking Zion, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm still taking Zion. I have a lot of stock in him, and I really do love him, man. I love his game. Uh, Long. Well, how tall is he? I'm not trying to be corny, but like 6'7", 6'7", long. Really, I would say he has a crafty handle. Great footwork. Scrappy defender. Uh, Rim pressure is great. Obviously, his shot isn't there yet, but I think that's something that can develop in time. But I don't want to say he doesn't need a shot, but he's doing well without it. Really good playmaker. With the ball in his hands more, I would like to see that a little bit. See how his playmaking flourishes because I think he has some great potential there. But I still take Zion, especially now. Latif, you have all the numbers, but can you look up like his on and off numbers
For the season?
Yeah, and surprisingly, I would think that defense it was his on and off defense numbers would actually be pretty good because defensively he's actually done well this season.
I can get some that don't filter out garbage time real quick. Let me look at them.
But I'm still taking Zion. When
How
you look
many
at the
names?
huh?
Besides Zion, I'm just saying, how many names do you think you got?
This is under 25.
Yeah, I rounded mine up
I'm
around
taking Zion.
ish.
I'm taking Ant. I'm taking Wimby. Um, I don't Paulo maybe Paulo. Probably taking Paulo.
I don't know, man. Bro, what are we talking about? What are we
I'm not a
talking
huge
about?
Paulo fan, but
Yeah, I know, but still.
mind you, the stuff you talk about Franz is crazy. But yeah.
Latif, what do you got? How many names?
I was gonna let Jaden finish. Well, I'll address the Zion thing first. I'm taking Amen over Zion just because one, the injuries is crazy. Like he has not shown the ability to stay healthy at all in his career, like not at all, not one bit. And also, Amen Thompson is one of the best defenders in the league right now today. In his second year in the NBA, he clears Zion on the end. He's one of the best players in transition in the entire NBA right now, today. And also, I think he has the ability to be a better passer and playmaker than Zion Williamson as well. If he's given the keys in Houston and they actually try to build around him, I think we're looking at a player that can be a wing style version of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Not that good, obviously, but someone that can make all NBA teams like perennially in the NBA. I don't really think he needs a jump shot to be a great player, but it would definitely help for sure. He is really bad in the half court as a creator, but right now he's a great cutter. He's great at getting offensive rebounds and putbacks and stuff like that, and he's obviously great in transition. I would definitely take Amen over Zion. And then,
He's weak on Zion's rebounding this season.
I mean, it's got better. It's been a low sample size. He hasn't played a lot of games, and that's part of the problem.
No, that's true. The question with Zion will always be out. So I mean, if you're taking Amen over Zion, and a main part of that is health, then I wouldn't be mad at it. Obviously, Amen is a better defender. POA, I think off the ball, he's better. He's better than Zion, like all around when it comes to defense. Yes. But Zion has improved on the defensive end. I think offensively, he's still a better playmaker than Amen. Again, I would like to see it more from Amen. I don't know how that'll happen, but I think he's still a better playmaker. Scoring the ball, rim pressure, Zion is still better, more efficient.
He's definitely a better offense. He's definitely a much better offensive player.
I think he's all around just an better offensive engine. I mean, that's kind of the same thing to saying he's a better offensive player, but just being an engine on offense, I think is totally.
He's a better offensive player for sure. And if he was healthy, like consistently, I don't think it would be much of a question. But I think Amen, especially right now, is just scratching the ceiling, like the surface of his ceiling. I have to see like how much Houston actually caters to him. I think like right now, I think he's a Ben Simmons level player, like Notro. Like right now, I think he's a Ben Simmons level player. Like how good Ben Simmons was in his prime as a all NBA defender and a third team all NBA player. He's there right now, and he's more aggressive, and so he won't have the issues of not looking for a shot in the playoffs, not attacking the basket and stuff like that.
Do you think he has the defensive versatility of a Ben Simmons?
I mean, Ben Simmons is obviously bigger, so he can guard like the 4 and the 5 a little bit more. But Amen Thompson is, I think, clear on the perimeter. So not really.
How polished do you think his offensive game is right now? Then
his offensive game right now is not polished at all. Really, he can't shoot at all. His handle needs a lot of work, and I don't really think he's a point guard like in the future, to be honest. But again, he's very, very limited in
his handle needs work. But for somebody who's 6'7" on a wing, I think he has a crafty enough.
It's fine. It's fine for a wing. It's not fine for a playmaker at all. No.
Yeah.
I mean, for a point guard at all. No.
His shot needs to get better, obviously. I'm looking at it right now, and I got like 10, 12 people that I'm probably taking over. And that might be blasphemous. That's fine.
Latif, but like, if I'm going,
huh?
Did you find those on and off numbers?
I did. The Pelicans are negative. I mean, they're negative 3.1 with them on the floor. With them off, they're negative 9.9. The defense gets worse by like 0.5 with him off the court. So he's been a positive on defense in that regard, and the offense decreases by 6 points basically when he's off the floor. I mean, it's fine. Max, give me so you say you have 10 to 12 players over.
I'm looking at 10 right now that I'm saying. I'm taking or debating. I'm taking or debating.
Hold on. You have 10 to 12 players under the age of 25 that you would take over Amen Thompson going forward, correct?
Not necessarily take. I'm thinking about it or having the debate.
Okay.
So I'm having.
Who are the 12?
I stay getting put on blast. Wemby, Ant, Paolo, Mobley, Cade, LaMelo. How many is that? Wemby, Ant, Paolo, Mobley, Cade, LaMelo, Chet.
Okay.
I would take Zion as well. I think Zion's ceiling's high. And again, I get you talking about the offensive polish game, whatever. Like, I know we're going back and forth about. But then think you get 3 names where it gets contentious. So again, maybe it's a little less than what I thought. But then you got Franz, you got Jalen Johnson, and then I think you also have Jalen Williams.
I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that list at all, to be honest.
I think Jalen Johnson – what's up?
I think Jalen Johnson is more of a maybe.
I would take Amen Thompson.
I think those 3 names, I think the first guys I said I would take. I think, again, I've seen Zion's – I know Zion's got injuries, obviously. We know that. We always talk about it. But what I've seen from Zion so far in his peak season obviously is a player that I would want over Amen Thompson. But I think when you get to the Jalen Williams, I love Jalen Williams, plays both sides of the ball. I think you have you have Franz and you have Jalen Johnson, who both have good offensive games, can develop defensively. I don't think they're bad defenders. But I think that they could have obviously developed more and have a much better offensive game versus Amen's much better defensive game. And it's just, what would you take on the other side? How bad is Amen's offensive game versus whatever, Jalen Johnson?
You got to think about how much his game can grow as far as his offensive game. He's really bad. He's really bad in the half court.
I
I think
mean,
the same thing could be said. The
stuff
same
that
thing could be
we're seeing
said
now,
for.
the stuff that we're seeing with Amen, and I realize like with basketball players, I don't want to say they're stuck in their ways, but like it's kind of hard to break habits. And I feel like it's kind of been a negative for Amen and Asar just being so physically gifted when it just comes to their stature and just their athleticism. The stuff that we're seeing now is the stuff that we've been seeing in OTE. So if you think that he can, I mean, again, I think that he has a crafty handle for his size, but for you, you're looking for him to be uh, somebody with the ball in his hands more, be the playmaker on the team. Um, I think you said that you don't think he needs a shot or something like that, but I don't see that. I don't see that like coming along and being a part of his game. I think that he's kind of set in his ways, and now at this point in his career, he's just gonna build on and he's gonna build on the stuff that he's already good at, if that makes sense. I don't see him becoming a shooter. Like how much better do you like how much do you think he can grow when it comes to like the stuff that he's not particularly good at right now?
I don't know how
Well,
much his shooting can really develop right now. Like it's obviously take a lot more
yeah,
time. He's got to get a good shooting coach. But again, I think sorry, I'm not trying to I guess you were asking Latif, but I think I agree with like the OTE thing. But again, this is NBA level coaching and NBA level training. So I think that you can obviously break into better habits with that at your disposal.
I think Amen is really cognizant of his weaknesses. You look at any of his interviews, his draft interviews, he was cognizant that he needs to become a better shooter. Him and Asar, they have been labeled as some of the hardest workers we've seen in the NBA. I think they are. Now, I don't think he's going to be a above average shooter at all. He needs to be like a Giannis level shooter, I would say. I think he needs to just improve in the half court. His handle needs to get better. He needs the reps, basically, attacking defense and stuff like that. Because Giannis is obviously not a great shooter, but he's also 7 feet, so it's harder for a wing to do it. But Amen is just so much quicker, stronger, faster than anyone you're gonna be able to put on him. Basically, he's quicker than guards. He is he's quicker than guards for sure. Yeah, he's stronger than guards. He is quicker than centers, so it's really hard to have a matchup on him. To be honest, teams are going to eventually just start to go under on screens as they have already been doing, and also just pack the paint on him, which it has my concerns as him as a primary initiator. But because of his elite level athleticism and quickness and speed, all that type of stuff, I don't think that's going to necessarily like limit him, especially in the regular season. He definitely needs to add like more moves to his bag and stuff like that for sure to become a better half court player. And I don't want to keep comparing him to all time great, but when you look at like Giannis, his like even his second and third years and stuff like that, it was the same type of thing. Like his handling and his half court play was terrible. And that's how it is for Amen Thompson. So he would just have to freaking nature though. So you can't.
What wing have we seen not be? What wing have we seen be a below average shooter? Because he's a below average shooter.
No, he's a terrible shooter.
Yeah,
but
and thrive as the main guy.
Now,
as a wing,
that's a great question. But also, there's been no player in NBA history like Amen Thompson.
I mean, I don't know about that.
He's the most unique player in NBA history. What other player can you compare to him outside of Asar?
I think Wemby might be the most unique player in NBA history.
No, we'll see another Wemby, but
sure. You're saying we will? I think we will see another Amen at the point.
I think Ben is a really good comparison.
He's way more athletic than Ben Simmons.
But Ben is also 6'10", and
that's the king. He's a wing, and he's the best athlete in the NBA, probably.
No, he definitely is different, but I think you can draw similarities when it comes to game and I guess stature.
We never got to see Ben Simmons as the main guy because Philly never built a team around him, and it was also a terrible fit with Joel Embiid.
And I think ironically, I think that you would need somebody next to Amen for like him to be the main guy. Like you would need somebody next to him. Ironically,
Well, yeah. So I don't really think it's
bench.
it's hard to as you say like a wing that can't shoot. That makes sense. But again, there is not been a player like Amen Thompson probably in NBA history with his combination of size, speed, strength, and touch. Because he can't shoot, but he has really good touch on like euro steps and floaters and a
Very
lot.
crafty.
Yeah. What's up?
But you got go man. You can go.
I was just you guys were mid conversation. I was just having the idea, like, so out of all the names I said, though, right? Are you taking them at face value, or are you saying their development as well? Because
They're
again, I
developing
think
slow.
because what we're talking about again, like I think, and there's players I didn't even say, right? So like, I think that other names could be in a conversation with it. I think the lack of offensive.
I think Amen Thompson ceiling is higher than Jalen Williams and Jalen Johnson.
I think
My thing is more. I think there's a better chance that Jalen Williams hits his full ceiling than Amen Thompson does. I think based on
What is
situation.
Jalen Johnson's full ceiling?
Just a very good scorer. I guess. Like I think Amen Thompson. I think Jalen Johnson. I think Jalen Williams is a great 3-and-D player. That's his ceiling. Jalen Johnson is.
ceiling is weird because I feel like that goes to situation. Like situation.
I guess.
J-Dub.
I agree. I agree 100%, and that's what I'm saying with this team and Amen. I don't know. I guess like I kind of agree with. I don't know if he's just the number one scorer on this team. He's the number one option, right? Like,
well, not right now, but
I'm saying going forward though, I think there is like a lot of stuff to obviously develop with the offensive game, and not by no way am I not saying that he doesn't have a ceiling. He definitely has a high ceiling, but like I think that he's got to lock in on the offensive game and develop the shot, his pull up game, his playmaking, whatever, to kind of make him that go to guy. Because again, like if he could be a elite scorer with a great defensive side, like that makes him that much more valuable. But do you disagree with any of the names I said, Latif? And how many did I say? Like, was it 10?
I don't remember how many names you said. As far as like,
wait, let me count through.
I'm thinking about it, bro. I'm having a lot of questions when it comes to
about what?
Because like in a half court, you got to think if he becomes the main guy and he has the ball in his hands, in a pick and roll, centers in a drop, immediately in a drop, is he physically imposing enough to just be able to get to the rim like every single time? Like does he have like a post up back to the basket game and be able to play make like a Giannis or Ben Simmons? I mean, I just think those are questions that you have to ask, and I don't think he'll be like good enough to do that. I don't know. Can he knock down a mid range like Giannis? Obviously, that's something that he'll have to develop. But like, I don't know.
Giannis didn't develop that until like year 10.
That's true. But you got to think like if we're comparing him to Giannis, it's just so different because Giannis is what most dominant player that we've seen in a long, long time, and that comes from stature alone. And it's just like I don't know.
No, I think his ceiling is like a wing Giannis. And
But how far does that get you?
I think a wing Giannis is probably a top 10 player in NBA. I don't because of his again, I keep saying size, strength, and speed and all that type of stuff over and over again, but I don't think he necessarily he's what like 19. Well, no, I'm just like 21 or something like that, 20, 21. They came a little bit older. But I think he doesn't necessarily have to be physically imposing. Well, he definitely is physically imposing for sure right now.
But is he enough to carry an offensive load and be the main guy with the ball in his hands?
Well, that's something he has to grow into, and Houston is not going to find out until they actually give him the keys, which I think they definitely should. He's arguably the best player on their roster right now. Like he's definitely better than Jalen Green.
You got him over Şengün.
Şengün has had a down year, but
you have him over Şengün because Şengün's a name that I did not say who was in that under 22. So you'd rather have Amen than Şengün going forward.
Under 24, but Şengün his ceiling is
taking Amen over Şengün going forward.
Yes,
taking Amen over. Okay, just making sure.
I think Amen is their best prospect on the team.
For sure, I would agree.
And he's able to affect the game in many ways. So I mean, yeah, he's terrible. Like as far as like creating the half court, as far as like so his isolation and handler and post up stuff right now. He is at 50 true shooting on like isolation, handling, and post ups, and that's negative 2.9 below league average right now as far as relative to shooting. He's a weapon in transition, but off the ball, as far as like spotting up, is bad. It's really bad. So I don't know. He definitely has a ways to go, but I think his ceiling is incredibly high. I would take him over like, as far as ceiling wise. I would take him over Jaedon France, Jalen Johnson. Um, that's about it though.
I mean, if he
Bro,
was
so
anywhere else,
this
bro,
OKC.
he's in a really good spot. So I mean, the situation kind of, I don't know about that.
I'll take Evan Mobley. I'll take Evan Mobley over him. I'll take.
Yeah, who are your names? Who are your names?
My names are the names I'll like definitely take over him. Is Victor and I'll also take Paolo. I'll take K still. I'll take Chet. I'll take Mobley. I'm at 6.
You want to hear other names?
I think that's it.
You're not taking LaMelo. You're not taking Franz.
I'm taking LaMelo.
You're not taking LaMelo, Franz, J-Dub, Tyrese Maxey, Halliburton, Zion.
I'll take Amen over Maxey. I'll probably take LaMelo over Amen. I'll take
That's a 7.
All right.
So I don't think my 10's that crazy. And again, I gave you something to debate with. I said I'll take a debate. I'm not going to comfortably take him over. But I think my 10's not crazy.
Injury history aside, I know you had your explanations, but Zion or man, just injury questions out of the picture.
Obviously out. I think you should take Zion because I think Zion can still be.
At this moment right now, I'll take Zion because of the stuff he showed when he is on the floor.
100%.
He showed more than Amen Thompson as of right now. If Amen continues this for another year and a half, it could be a different situation depending on how his growth shows. But right now, healthy Zion, which is a figment of our imagination, I'll take Amen. Yes. I mean, Zion.
Hey man, I just want to address something, bro. What's your names, bro?
Can I address them after?
It's Lowe's friend, bro.
I don't know.
Let's keep it a buck. It has B Souls and I forgot his name. But they did a video and they put it on Twitter and it says who will go down as a bigger bust, Zion Williamson or Ben Simmons. Now, like,
yeah, that's bad.
That whole bust thing, I've had my like gripes and opinions on that whole like word and how like us sports fans go about it. But what really bothered me in that clip is it was just so uninformed because they were saying that Zion isn't a good basketball player. Like even when he's on the floor and healthy, like they said he's not a good basketball player, which is like weird to me. I don't get it. So it's like they're not even watching.